Hello everyone. We analyzed the effect of biased growth on the welfare of trade nations last class. Today, we will pay our attention on the tariff and export subsidies and analyze the effect of this trade policy on the term of trade and the nation's welfare. Import tariffs are taxes levied on imports. Export subsidies are payments given to the domestic producers that export. Tariff and export subsidy drives the difference between price in the world markets and the price in the domestic markets. Tariffs make imported goods more expensive in domestic country than world markets. Export subsidy promote the domestic producers insensitive to export. It will therefore be more profitable to sell abroad than at home unless the price at home is higher. So, subsidy will increase the price of exported goods in exporting country. Both policies influence the term of trade and therefore nations' welfare. Firstly, let's analyze the effect of tariff. If the home country imposes a tariff on food imports, the price of food relative to the price of the crops rises for domestic consumers. Likewise, the price of crops relative to the price of food falls for domestic consumers. Domestic producers will receive a lower relative price of crops and therefore be more willing to switch to food production. So, relative supply of crops will decrease. Domestic consumers will pay a lower relative price for crops and therefore will be more willing to switch to the cross consumption. So, relative demand for crops will increase. Look at figure 1. From the point of view of the world as a whole, the relative supply of crops will fall, shifting from the RS1 to RS2. The relative demand of crops will increase, shifted from RD1 to RD2. Clearly, the world relative price of crops rises from PC divided by PF1 to PC divided by PF2. Thus, home's term of trade improved. Pay attention here. The extent of change in term of trade depends on the size of the home country relative to the world economy. If the country is a small part of the world economy, its tariff policies will not have much effect on the world relative supply and demand, and thus no much effect on the term of trade. But for a large country, a tariff may improve the term of trade of this nation and maximize national welfare at the expense of foreign countries. Now, let's analyze the effect of export subsidy on the term of trade. Tariff and export subsidy are often treated similar, but since they both seem to support domestic producer, but they have opposite effect on the term of trade. If home country impose a subsidy on crops exported, domestic producer will receive a higher relative price of crops when they export. And therefore, domestic producer will be more willing to switch to cross production. Relative supply of crops will increase. Domestic consumers must pay higher relative price of crops to producers. And therefore, domestic consumers will be more willing to switch to food consumption. So, relative demand for crops will decrease. Look at figure 2. From the point of view of the world as a whole, with the relative demand for the world falling, RD curve shifts from RD1 to RD2, and relative supply of crops for the world rise, with RS curve shifting from RS1 to RS2. Clearly, the world relative price of crops decreased from PC divided by PF1 to PC divided by PF2, with the world relative price of crops falls from PC divided by PF1 to PC divided by PF2. The home country's term of trade decline. So, we can make conclusion. When the home country imposes an export subsidy, the term of trade decreases, and the welfare of the country decreases to the benefit of foreign country. According to our analysis above, the standard trade model predicts that an import tariff by home country can increase domestic welfare at the expense of foreign country. An export subsidy by home country reduces domestic welfare to the benefits of foreign country. However, a tariff also imposes a cost by distorting production and consumption incentives within home's economy. So, term of trade gains will outweigh the loss from the distortion only when tariff is not too large. The effects of an export subsidy are quite clear. Foreign terms of trade improve at home's expense, leaving it clearly better off. At the same time, home loss from term of trade deterioration and from the distorting effect of its policy. That means export subsidy never makes sense. Our model is of a two-country world, where the other country exports the goods we import, and vice versa. But in our real world, it is a multinational world. So, what are additional effects of tariff and subsidies that can occur in a world with many countries and many goods? Consider this situation. A foreign government may subsidize export of goods that compete with United States exporters. This foreign subsidy will obviously hurt the United States because it reduces the price for the United States in the world markets and decreases its term of trade. A good example is the EU subsidized agricultural exports, which reduce the price of American farmers receive for their goods in the world markets. A foreign country may put a tariff on imported goods that the United States also imports, which will reduce the price of the United States in the world markets and increase its term of trade. So we can make conclusion. 1. Export subsidy by foreign countries on goods that the United States imports reduce the world price of the United States import and increase the term of trade for the United States. Export subsidy by foreign countries on goods that the United States also exports reduce the world price of the United States export and decrease the term of trade for the United States. 2. Import tariffs by foreign countries on goods that the United States exports reduce the world price of the United States export and decrease the term of trade for the United States. Import tariffs by foreign countries on goods that the United States also imports reduce the world price of United States imports and increase the term of trade for the United States. To the world, the export subsidies on goods decrease the relative world price of that good by increasing the relative supply of that good and decreasing relative demand of that good. Import tariff on goods decrease the relative world price of that good by increasing the relative supply of that good and decreasing the relative demand of that good. Now, let's review what we have learned in this chapter. In this chapter, we introduce the components of standard trade model, such as production possibility frontiers, iso-value lines, indifference curves, and learn how to use those tools to illustrate the changes of the supply side and the demand side of nations and the trade patterns. We also learned the welfare effect of change in the terms of trade and how biased economic growth cause the change of term of trade and affect the welfare of nations engaged in the international trade in the end. Finally, we learned the effects tariff and the subsidies on trade patterns and the welfare of trade nations. We learned how tariffs and the subsidies affect the term of trade, which cause the change of welfare between the trade nations. That is the end of today's class. Thank you.